mute speakers because you would hear me twice. All right. What I want you guys to see is this. First and foremost, to size from something small to big, you need to be able to understand or compare and contrast things. So what I want you to do first, before you do anything else, I want you to draw 3 items on your paper. Now, in the other class, I told them draw like a circle, maybe a line, and whatever else they want on the paper. Just draw 3 items on your paper, on your piece of computer paper. Don't take long in doing it. This isn't an assignment that I'm going to make you spend hours doing. And be as light with your pencil as possible. Some of you guys who are being really squeaky with the pencil, you might be squeaky because you look at your pencil. Do you have an HB or a 6B? Because HBs are squeakier. Okay, I want you guys to have a 6B pencil like this. Okay, is yours an HB? Yeah. If you got an HB, check for a 6B or come over here to the other drawer and look for a 6B. Do it quick though. The drawer over here. Do it quick though, because I want to move on. Now, the next thing I want you guys to do after you've done that, and anybody who's still sitting at their desk can do this, what I want you guys to do is with your best estimate, and I will take this sheet of paper off so you only see that. In your best estimate, I want you to look at the sheet of paper and try to draw a line from top to bottom in the middle of the paper. Don't measure it. I want you to estimate the best. So watch how I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to look. I'm going to go, okay, center should be about right here. And I'm going to draw a line from top to bottom. And I'm going to do it where I feel center should be. Do that once for me real quick. I'm then going to turn the paper. And I'm going to do it this way too. I'm going to try to center it the best I can. Okay? From what you guys see now, any of you guys that are still getting the pencils, try to be quick with this. Or if you have to grab Vine charcoal, you can use it for this assignment too. Okay? If you have to use Vine charcoal, use Vine charcoal. It will work just fine for what we're doing right now. Okay? Once I've got it like this, here's what I'm asking you. How many of you feel like you're pretty much on center, both vertical and horizontal? How many of you feel like that? Raise your hand, and it's not a question of, oh, it's a serious question. And I don't want you to do this, go, are you pretty much centered? No, I'm way off. Because I'm going to talk about your choice. I want to see how many hands are raised. Who thinks they're centered? Raise your hand high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Put your hand back down. Only 8 of you. I think you're wrong. I think there's more of you than you think. Here's what you're going to do. I want you now to take your paper and I want you to perfectly fold it in half. I want you to put that crease line in this paper. I want you to open it back up and I want you to look and see how close you were to that center line. Make sure it's perfectly in half. If you're not doing it right. Open it up and see how close to that line you were. With that being said, raise your hands high if you were on the line. Raise them very high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 5 of you were 6. Only 6 of you were on the line. 7. Now 7 of you. Turn it this way. Do the same thing. Fold it over again. Okay, once you open it, how many people at least touched the line with their fold? Raise your hand. If you at least touch the line with your fold, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least 12 of you. Put your hands back down. Now look up here. Here's a point I want to prove on this. Okay? If I take, all I ever need to do when I do a drawing is find center on the paper. That's it. That's all I need to do. I just found center without using a ruler. Most of you probably, and let me ask this question, how many of you, if you cross these two lines, were within a half of an inch of the center? Raise your hand high. If you cross those two lines, if you were within a half of an inch of the center. If you didn't, I want to see your paper because I don't believe you that you were that far off. Because here's what I want to prove to you. Did you not? Were you not? No, Gabby. Were you not close? Why didn't you raise your hand? I told everybody to raise your hand if you were within a half inch center. I want to see this because I'm trying to get a count. Okay? Take a look up here. Here's my point. Please pay attention to this. That's where my center line's crossed. I can guarantee every one of you, if you're anywhere in that area, you're almost on center. If I can find center of a paper without measuring it, I can draw anything because you can already write your name. What I want to point out on this is the mechanics in my hand to draw are the same as the mechanics in your hand to write your name. Also, the ability to find a center point is the same ability I use to draw everything that I do. It's comparing and contrasting. So here we go. I'm going to go from there. Okay? Was I perfectly on the line when I went? Here's the perfect line. I'll sketch right on it. Not exactly. I was off just a little bit. But there's the fold line. Okay? Here's the fold line. Pretty dang close, correct? Now I'm going to show you this. I'm going to take this piece of paper. I'll set that sheet off to the side. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to eliminate that part I don't need. So I come over and I say, I don't need about, you ready? I'm going to be real technical with it. About that much of the paper. I'm not using that right there. I'm going to set this one back on. I'm going to say this. All I want to find is center. So from center, I'm going to give my best guess. Here we go. Center, probably right here. If I turn it this way now, for any of you guys, let's say center is about right here. That's good enough if I'm freehand drawing. If I'm off just a little bit, who gives a darn? That's good enough. I don't have to measure it. I want you to understand your abilities to see are good enough. But here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make you guys mark your paper the way I just did. So do this to your paper, your big paper. You've got 1 minute to do it. If you've not done it already, if you did it while I was talking, great. You're already ahead of the game. If you did not do it while I was talking, you better do it quick right now. Mark it just like this. This piece is not folded. This is. I did this to prove to you that you're closer than you think on the lines. So when you do this, trust yourself. Okay? For any of you guys who know, never fold the big drawing sheet. The one that I'm looking at for reference, I don't care about. Everybody always asks me all the time, well, Mr. Saunders, can I fold my reference sheet? Absolutely. You're not turning that into me when you're done. Can I fold my drawing? Oh, heck no. Do not fold the drawing sheet. What I made you guys do when you guys found this, if I could get your attention real quick, the minute's up. What I made you guys do when you did this, I wanted to prove to you that you are closer with your true vision than you think you are when you draw things. You were able to find center or within a half inch of center on your own. You didn't have to take a ruler to find perfect center. You were able to visualize and find center. How do you find center? You compare. I look at the two sides. I look, where's the closest point to the middle? It's about right there. I turn it. Where's the closest point to the middle? Now I'm going to do this. I want all eyes on me. So don't want you looking at your drawing. I don't want you looking at your hands if you got charcoal all over them like some people do in here because they're messy with charcoal. I want you guys looking at me, okay? What I want you guys to see is this, or at least up at the projection. These lines that you drew, you're going to draw them now. Exactly like that on the big sheet. You're going to be simple with it. Pay close attention to me. I'm going to look for obvious lines. Obvious lines. My lines are pretty simple. Here we go. It went like this. It went like this, and I'm going to kind of darken them so you see them better. It kind of curved like this. So obvious points of interest to me. Without me drawing the whole graph out here, you guys can still see most of it there. Without me drawing the whole graph there, and I just realized that everything up there is backwards so it makes it look like I'm left-handed on the screen and I'm right-handed. So that's interesting. But anyway, if you guys watch the screen and not my hand, here's what I'm going to do first. Starting here, I'm going to come up. I'm going to say, I'm going to start with this line right here. Okay? With this line, first thing I do is it halfway from here to the top? Or is it more? That's the question I ask. This line, would I go halfway up and put a mark? Or more? Compare and contrast for me and answer me without staring at me with blank looks in the face. Okay? What would I do? You tell me. Is it halfway or more? More. So I go up. It's about, if that's halfway, it's about halfway there. So I'm just going to put a dot there. I'm going to come down. I'm going to say from here to here. If this is halfway, it's not quite halfway. That's halfway. It's not quite halfway. It's more like right there. And there's my line. That's my line right there. This comes down. I do some comparisons. Say it comes down to about right there. There we go. I look at this. Well, it comes almost all the way over the edge, not quite down to about right there, and I give this curved line like that. I look at this. From here to here, that line curves this way, then curves this way. There you go. I move over and I say, okay, I'm going to draw this line. It crosses probably about this far down. It crosses that about right here. I don't need to mark that off. I say it comes all the way up to probably about right here. And it goes down to probably about right here. If you can draw any of these lines even close, you can sketch the human face because all you have to do is turn it into lines. So what I want you guys to do right now, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. That's all I'm giving you. Sketch what you did on the small sheet exactly the same way on the big sheet. And then you're moving on. Now I'm going to show you how I translate what I just showed you into sketching a face. And I want you guys to very closely pay attention to this. You might go, what? How do you translate what I just did into drawing a face? It's simple. If you're done, great. If you're not done, stop. And I want you to turn your attention up here again. So what I want to show you is this. The image I showed you before I stepped up to the computer, please turn and look at this. Okay, and it's backwards to you guys again, but the image that I showed you is my wife and I, okay? I asked her this morning, hey, I'm going to do a demo for the class. What do you want? She goes, do whatever picture of us. I sent this to her. She's like, yes, exactly. So she wants this one. It's good. Works perfect. But here's what I do. I'm going to break the face down into lines. First, this is how I size. I'm going to print 2 sheets of paper off for you. One of them specifically for you to break down in lines. One of them for you to use as reference when you start to draw the real drawing. So what I do is this. First and foremost, that's round. I understand it's round. I don't care when I'm breaking it down into shapes. I'm going to go like this. This is almost a straight line that way. From here to here, it's a line that way. If I go like this, I'm going to do this. Straight line, straight line. Do I have to connect all the lines? No. But I'm going to break them down so that way I know where to put different things. Here you go for the straight lines, and I'm going to actually do these marks and I'll show you why here in a second. Okay. A couple more. And I'm going to go slow to start, and then I'm going to speed up. Everybody always asks me how I can draw so fast. This is how. Compare and contrast quickly. If you guys are sketching on your paper, stop. I'm not demoing for nothing. Turn and look. Thank you. Sheet of paper. Sheet of paper. Now this is the 11 by 17 one. Perspectively, done work. I'm not using that part of the paper again. I'll make it simple for you. I'll be right back. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, I don't want that. So now, my paper's more correct. Here we go. Find center point. Quick. Find center point. Center point would be about right here. Find the center point this way. Center point would be about right here. There's my center point. Find the center point very quickly. I do this typically so you guys know I do it without making marks. I don't have to make marks. But if you want to, that's fine. Just do it very light. Find the center point. I'd say it's about right here. Find the center point this way. It's about right there. Pretty decent to go from there. Here we go. I'm going to explain this fast. I'm going to draw it fast. And I want you guys to follow the best you can. So here we go. Starting with the closest line to this. Right here. That line goes from, if this is the halfway point, not quite halfway, right here to about right here, an angle. Up here. This line across right here. Go up and over just a little bit, up and over just a little bit to here. It slants down slightly like that. On the other side of that line, I've got a line right here, and it goes from about here to here. I go up I've got a line about here. If I'm not perfect with it, I don't care right now. This is my sizing. All I'm doing with these lines is sizing. I'm not sketching the final thing out with these lines. They're just there to help me know how to size it. Next line. It's about right. It's inside of this one. It's about right there at an angle. I'm going to come down. I compare and contrast. It's a little bit past halfway at an angle like that. I got a line that's about an angle like this. I got a line that's about an angle like this. I got a line that's angle off there. I got a line that's an angle down here like this. I've got a line that's like that. I got another line that's like that. I got a line that goes about like this, like this, like this, like this. I got a line that's inside there like this, one like this, like this, like this. I've got a line that angles from about right here down. It doesn't touch. I got a line that angles slightly up right there, one that angles slightly down right there. I got a line that angles, it's not the same angle as that. Notice those aren't the same angles. This one angles back. I got a big neck. Okay? I angle it back slightly. I got an angled line down here. That one. I got an angled line there. I got an angled line here. And I got an angled line there that I just put. Now, if I go across here, 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 I have enough to draw it now. I'm sized. By sized, I mean I know exactly what size my picture is going to be. And then I start with the detail. Then I say, okay, maybe I don't like that spacing very much. It might be off a little bit. Now I recognize it before I sketch it. And I go, I think this eye should be this way just a little bit, so I'll move it. And then I can start to draw. What's the eye look like in there? Okay, how should the eye be? And then I start to draw whatever else I need to draw. I put in anything that I need. This picture is kind of hard to draw from. That's why you have a second picture. So I take this picture and I start going, oh, okay, this makes it a little easier. Her mouth actually kind of bows down like that. Her lips come up. Her nose is in this area. I know what a nose should look like. Everybody knows what a nose should look like. The eyebrows. And you start to do this stuff. Is her jaw squared? I hope not. I'm married to her. She doesn't have a square jaw, but those are the lines I first put. So I start to sketch it in more correctly, and I put the curves in. Come down. And this is how I can sketch so fast, because I size it first. What I'm telling you guys right now, though, is when I size most of the time, I don't take the time to draw in any lines. I start going for the details of what is needed, and sometimes I have to look at the picture and go, oh, okay, so that's where I put this line. I might like this line a little bit tighter in here. And if you think something looks wrong, here's the deal. You're probably right. It's probably wrong. So fix it. If you come up to me and you tell me, Mr. Sungrath, as I'm drawing this, the eyes look too far apart. Bingo. The eyes are too far apart. Yeah. You come up to me and you say, hey, Mr. Sungrath, the nose looks too long. Yes. That's usually my answer. I sound sarcastic in saying stuff. It's not meant to be sarcastic. It's meant to say you are right in your judgment. Your biggest problem, you ready for this? Remember how I said when you guys were measuring out the lines, I said, who thinks that they've got their lines close to center? 8 of you raise your hand. 12 of you had it close to center. Actually, 13 of you had it close to center. 8 of you raise your hand. The other 4 or 5, I don't know if you just didn't raise your hand or if you were just plain old too scared to admit it. Because the problem with most of you is you lack confidence in yourself. Eliminate the confidence. Also eliminate the fear. Some of you guys are very fearful of drawing. I can point out specifically ones of you who are scared of everything you draw. You are. You say it. I'm afraid to do blah, blah, blah. Quit it. We all make mistakes. When I sketch, if you don't think I'm a mistake, You think I'm perfect? You're nuts. You're crazy. The difference between me and you is I will make mistakes on a grand scale and I will fix them on a grand scale. In other words, I'll make big mistakes. When I'm drawing this right here, if I get done sketching all the stuff I need to sketch out for my wife, and I'm doing this kind of rough right now through here, if I'm sketching this and I get done and I go, you know what? I think that her face looks too fat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to leave her face fat. I'm going to make it skinnier. But the problem is you're too afraid to fix the mistakes, or you're afraid to make the mistake in the first place. If you're going through and you're doing this stuff, you know, I'm going to bring it in a little bit, and then I'll erase that. Don't sketch so dark, though, that you can't fix your mistakes. I'm sketching dark on here, so if I've got mistakes, you can see them. But when I'm sketching in real life, by the way, you can sketch with an HB pencil if you sketch really light and then go charcoal over it. What you cannot do is use an HB pencil and shade and then try to shade over it, because if there's a huge area of graphite pencil, charcoal will not cover it. So, you know, a very light sketched out area, charcoal will cover it fine. As I continue to do this, it's all going to work well. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of touch on with you guys today is you get to use these materials. Okay? Compressed charcoal, very dark. Don't sketch with it. Because also the supplies you use when you're doing this stuff can screw you up. If I was sketching with compressed charcoal, I cannot erase anything. It's dark. Okay? Vine charcoal. I could sketch with vine charcoal. A lot of times you can come back with vine charcoal and wipe it right off, or I can brush it off. I could take a brush and it's good for sketching. It works really well for sketching. Just be like that. Make sure you're using the extra soft when you're sketching. Okay, it's rated. If you don't look at the box, it's rated. If I were going to do an eye now, shade an eye, I'll kind of do this for you. And I was putting this in here, and I'm going to accidentally cover over the white in the eye. I'm going to do it on purpose, so you guys know. I'd typically not try to do this on purpose, but we all make mistakes, okay? So I always say about leaving that white in the eye, and I've accidentally colored that in, and I'm doing her eye here, okay? And I get to that point, and I'm like, gosh, dang it, I shouldn't have done that. I could either erase it, or I could say, you know what? I want you to see this. Before I put white charcoal down, I will blend it first. Before I put white charcoal down, I'll blend it. Because if I put the white charcoal down right on top of it, it's just going to smear into each other. So I'll take this, and I'm going to make it nice and smooth in there. And by the way, charcoal is best done in layers. Not one layer and blend, but one layer, blend, and then watch this. I'm going to cover the white in the eye too. Watch this. Okay, I'm doing it on purpose. One layer, blend. I'm going to take my white charcoal. I'm going to put it in there. White charcoal, put that in there. I'm going to take my charcoal pencil now. I'm going to darken darker areas of it. And if I was doing that, I wouldn't do a second blend on it if I like it the way I like it. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but maybe you should come up and see it, because it doesn't project up there as good as it is down here. Not trying to be cocky, being honest. Okay? So you guys can see that. What I want you to do is I want you to practice sizing a picture. And if you are one of the people who has not yet sent me a picture, get it done. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this, because I did what I wanted to show you. In the next few minutes, what I want you doing, if you have not sent me your picture, do it now. If you have sent me your picture, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Some pictures came to me last hour, and my printer wasn't working last hour. I finally got it reworking. By the way, if you want to go back and you're unsure of anything, I'll post this to